I want to appeal to the Deputy Majority Whip, because he's a member of, I don't know whether he's a member of SBC, that we must refocus our energy to donor funds, Mr. Speaker, because I know tomorrow we are being told we are launching, I think, the performance index of counties. These donor funds are being eaten. They are becoming like imprest or pocket money for governors, for county entities, Mr. Speaker. Yet our farmers of livestock are not getting enough feeds, Mr. Speaker. They're looking at the objects, because this is the final issue, Mr. Speaker. We have seen that we established National Livestock Feed Reserve. Mr. Speaker, we were discussing with you the other day establishment of strategic grain reserve for the food security in the country. But I'm happy with the ingenuity of the distinguished doctor, because I know he has a PhD, Dr. Lilegwe, and when we grow up, we will read that so that we become PhD holders, is the established National Livestock Feed Reserve Program, Mr. Speaker, which is very critical because we'll get all the data. Because today, Mr. Speaker, if you ask the data of even how livestock should be fed in the country, no one will tell you.
Shall we rise, Honorable Senators? Senator Cherargei, when the session resumes, you will have 8 minutes to conclude on your contribution to this bill. Now, Honorable Senators, it is now 1 p.m., time to adjourn the Senate. The Senate therefore stands adjourned until later today, Wednesday, 5th of August, 2026, at 2:30 p.m.
The parcel is within the Nairobi City County. It was registered, this particular parcel, because it's a bigger parcel than where the primary school is, was registered in favor of City Council of Nairobi on 23rd March 1956. And it was for a term of 9 years. In 1953, there had been planning for this particular land. The measurement is 104 acres or 42.31 hectares. Therefore, that tells the Senate or this plenary that the land is big and is well delineated on survey plan number 55114, and have annexed the survey map, Honorable Speaker. I want to say, Honorable Speaker, that the City Council of Nairobi, now the Nairobi City County, which was responsible for planning, surveying, and subsequent allocation of the resultant subplots, because the parcel has been subdivided, and therefore the beneficiaries include public institutions. If, Honorable Speaker, maybe I make reference to the survey plan, it obviously shows various parcels. Among those parcels, therefore, then there is the Martin Luther Primary School, and the parcels are numbered between 3 to 882. Therefore, we can talk about 880 parcels, and the title for the larger parcel is attached. I've also endeavored to attach the PDP, the development plan, as Annexure 2, and that Annexure 2 clearly shows where the primary school is. I believe I have... Honorable Speaker, I'm suffering from... some site issues. Honorable Speaker, if it is marked in green, the size of the school. No, thank you. Thank you very much for your kindness. Honorable Speaker, the size of that parcel that is marked green, and I can always clarify, I wish to state as follows that the ministry, okay, I think what I'm saying, Honorable Speaker, as I will proceed further, is that we have already pulled out. What we found is that there was no survey for the specific plot where the school is using. Despite the fact that the entire land had been surveyed, this particular parcel, after the PDP, the parcel for the school was left basically unsurveyed without beacons, and no actual survey was done. So, Honorable Speaker, therefore, maybe it's important for me to say on page, the overleaf, that I wish to state that the ministry has no, there is a question on C for complaint in terms of what we have done to complaints. But maybe I wish to say that in B, this parcel, having been one of the parcels that ought to have been given numbers, it was left without survey. Ordinarily, most public utilities in this country have not been surveyed, and we find, and that is why that's why we came up with the institutional titling. And therefore, if I proceed to the third question, maybe it will bring out what I want to say, that the ministry has no records of complaint because I have been asked what we have done. I've tried to go through my records to find out whether there is a complaint by the primary school. I didn't find any. There could be, but for now, I was unable to find any specific. And I instructed my teams, Honorable Speaker, to call the primary school, the head teacher. She was very untrusting of KJ because she didn't understand who was calling her. It is not me, but my teams couldn't get the response we were looking for because I wanted to know whether she has correspondence relating to the entire parcel. And we found that after we surveyed, we were able to get parcel number, which I have given down there, parcel number, block number 56/853, because after receiving this question, Your Honorable Speaker, I instructed the Director of Survey, and that's what I'm saying in this answer, especially the last two paragraphs, to survey the land because I found it was not surveyed. So we have surveyed that parcel. We have come up from the survey. The Director of Survey found 8.44 acres that was able to be completed by way of survey. And Honorable Speaker, I'm in the process of survey is complete. I have directed the Land Administration Director to issue a lease for Martin Luther King, and that's what I'm saying. The last paragraph, a lease has been now processed in the name of Nairobi City County because this land, the lessor, is Nairobi City County, and therefore Martin Luther King will be a beneficiary, but the county will hold the lease in trust for the use by the primary school. The lease document has been forwarded to the county secretary, Honorable Speaker, Nairobi City County Government for execution, being the lessors, and therefore soon thereafter I'll be able to get a certificate of title. And so I was saying that the primary school was not able to give me relevant information, but I have asked for further engagement with the head teacher, Honorable Speaker, so that I find out where the claim for the school is coming from. Honorable Speaker, let me say that the particular parcel where we may be departing with the fact that the whole land belongs to the primary school, I'm saying in paragraph 2 there, I'm aware that the school has a claim of ownership of LL number 209-10466. That is a different parcel from the parcel, the question sent to me by raised by the Honorable Senator, because the parcel Honorable Senator was discussing is the bigger mother title, parcel number 4401, and that does not include, from the records that I have found, does not include parcel number 10466, which measures 2.150, as more particularly shown in survey plan, the survey plan 126375, registered in the name of the BT Enterprise Company Limited. So, to answer this question comprehensively, there are two titles or two parcels, but the school, Honorable Speaker, maybe I could finish that and say that the grant for a term of 99 years, with effect from 1st of April, this is now relating to where the BT is, and that is really maybe the claim by the school. That land belongs to the BT Enterprise by way of grant given with effect from 1st of April 1982 at an annual rent of 7,000. The grant for this property was issued on 24th June 1986 by the then Commissioner of Lands, and it was registered in 1986. On 17th of December 1986, the property was charged to Standard Bank, and therefore the actual position is that this parcel is not within the party development plan, which contains parcel number 4401, and therefore it did not belong to the county government or county council then. But therefore, there has been a challenge is how then does the school seem to occupy the first parcel that I have now made a lease and waiting for the lease to be executed by the county government, because even though it's a primary school, ordinarily the CS Treasury becomes the trustee on behalf of the school. But this specific one, by virtue of the entire mother title being owned or under the lessorship of the county government, will have to be signed by the county government. I do not see any challenge because the school is using that land, which is then 8 I've given the acreage there. Maybe the question is then how does the school on the ground, how is the school on the ground using this particular parcel? And that's why the school has been complaining about encroachment, possibly oblivious of the fact that this title, measuring 2.15 hectares, that's about 5 acres, has a different ownership. Honorable Speaker, I have been trying to think through this particular eventuality. I believe because the two parcels in terms of ownership, one was under the Commissioner of Land and the other one under the county government, I believe that because this land was given by way of a letter of allotment, proper process, there may have been an oversight, Honorable Speaker, to complete this answer, that possibly the people who should have gone to the ground, because the school seems to have been there even then, but the ground is occupied by the school, and therefore a ground report should have guided the commissioner not to allocate this land. So if any changes were to occur, then the process of recovery of the land in the name of the BT who have been unable to access by way of occupation of this parcel because the school is using that land. And therefore, I suppose that that is something that will require maybe further interrogation and rethinking of how then to engage the BT and the school. That is something I would be willing to undertake, but for now, the legal title for that particular parcel belongs to the BT, and there is nothing I can do about it for now other than further interrogation to understand what happened those days. And as you can see, Honorable Speaker, it's a fairly old lease that was issued with effect from 1982. The lease takes effect from 1982, although it was issued on 24th of June, 1986. So it's not a recent encroachment, and it is not an encroachment, it's just the fact as it is. And therefore, we can only understand. And I'm told that the BT has never been able to access because the ground occupation is by the school. I think I've given enough response, unless there is need for further clarification, Honorable Speaker.
Senator Sifuna, do you have any supplementary question?
Yes, in fact, I do, Honorable Speaker. I'm sure I'm not the only one in the House who's been left more confused by the responses when we began. Honorable Speaker, I want the CS to know there is a reason why the school administration do not trust them. There's a reason. In just the last 3 weeks, there was, I don't know if the CS is aware, there was an attack by goons at the school. We have had 3 head teachers in the last 2 years, and they are very aged, of course, Honorable Speaker, given the circumstances. And I would want to advise the CS that there's a reason why these people come to the elected representatives. If you wanted engagements with them, you should have done it through my office, and I'm sure we would have made progress. But I want to be very, very specific, Honorable CS. You have established that there was an error, that the school was there before this allocation was made to the BT. I think what you should be telling this House is that we, as a Senate, together with your ministry, should go to the ground and ascertain the facts. If these people have never been on occupation, the lawyers in the House will tell you about adverse possession. You cannot lay claim to a property that you have never occupied. I think in the public interest, why is it not possible for your ministry to cancel that title for the BT so that the school can continue to operate in the space that it has always operated? I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable CS, you may respond.
I believe the Honorable Senator, Honorable Speaker, is in a better place by way of the response I've given. One, the school did not have a title and have 8 points.
To know the Senator to see for herself on ground. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
President William Ruto's running mate in 2027. Yeye anataka power. And it's good we are discussing power. Power matters. Mr. Speaker, let me begin by thanking the committee led by Senator Mungatana for ably moving and my sister, Senator Ogola. I think I want to agree with the committee. There has been ula balu about the pricing. We are being told, oh, the prices in Uganda, the prices in Tanzania are much lower than Kenya, yet they don't have a port, Mr. Speaker. I'm happy the committee has dismissed that misnomer, because you have to appreciate that the ceiling strength between Uganda and Kenya and Tanzania, we are the giants of East and Central Africa economically in this region. And that is why, Mr. Speaker, you have to appreciate that Aliko Dangote, one of the biggest billionaires, dollar billionaires in Africa, has decided to set an oil refinery in Lamu in the next few months, Mr. Speaker. And you remember there was a suggestion to move it to Tanga, Tanzania. But Aliko Dangote, because of how economically and politically we are stable as a country, has decided to set up oil refinery here in Lamu, called Dangote in Lamu County, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, it shows a lot of confidence in investor, Mr. Speaker, on ensuring that we have enough fuel reserves in the country. And I'm happy that team of setting up bipartisan is being led by none other by the Deputy President, Professor Kithure Kindiki, who has ably chaired and ensured that the process of setting up refinery in Lamu to ensure that we have enough oil reserves, oil refinery will be chaired by the Deputy President, Professor Kithure Kindiki, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, this shows that we should have a lot of confidence, Mr. Speaker, so that when we receive, and I want to agree with the committee, the fuel disruption supply across the globe is not the making of the government or the president. It is the making of the fight that is there between the United States of America and Iran over their own geopolitics. And you know, the Strait of Hormuz has been one of the main, I'm told it's almost 30-40% of fuel supply across the country, where that Strait of Hormuz in Iran, because of the threats of war. So we must accept that what is happening is way beyond us. You know, it's way beyond us. But I've seen development, and I hope the Minister of Energy is watching, that there is a development that the Oman and the Iran government might work together, Mr. Speaker, to ensure that the Strait of Hormuz is open so that the fuel supply across the country, especially East Africa and Africa as a whole, is not big. Mr. Speaker, what only makes me sad, Mr. Speaker, is that we do a lot of oil refinery in Africa, like Nigeria and most of West Africa. Mr. Speaker, yet we have to go and import our oil, which is refined from Saudi Arabia through Aramco. Mr. Speaker, it's very unfortunate. As Africans, we must believe on ourselves, Mr. Speaker. And I hope the children and your distinguished guests, the students who are here, Mr. Speaker, should believe in Pan-Africanism. Should believe in Pan-Africanism. Because it doesn't make sense that there is oil in Africa, but we go all the way to buy it from Aramco through G2G, government-to-government legal framework of supplying. And Mr. Speaker, I want to thank the government. I know Senator Ogola has attributed or alluded to that one of the things that assisted the country not to have high price costs of fuel in the country was because of G2G, government-to-government framework that was able to cushion the consumers of this country, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, we want to thank the President for having that vision, that foresight of ensuring that we have G2G government. I know many politicians who want just to score political points, including the former chair of budget in the National Assembly and others, and the rudderless and clueless, disunited opposition, have been selling propaganda, Mr. Speaker, that G2G was to benefit individuals. It was not. In fact, G2G cautions Kenyans against the high costs of fuel, be it diesel, be it petrol, be it kerosene, Mr. Speaker. And I know where I come from. When we were growing up, we used to rely on kerosene or paraffin, if you want to see. I know the young ones who are in your public gallery, Mr. Speaker, might not know that those days we used to use paraffin, pressure cook. It was not pressure cooker, pressure lamp. We used to use, there was one we call, Mr. Speaker, where you used to convert the blue band. The blue band you cut, and then you put a string, then you put paraffin inside it, and it was miraculous in the village. In my local language, it was called tamambul. So, Mr. Speaker, in my local language, it was called tamambul. I don't know, but they might, the youngsters at your public gallery might need to visit a museum so that they can understand what we are describing. So we have moved from that to now we have access to electricity, and that is the issue that the kerosene, and I want to thank the government, because most of the Kenyans still rely on usage of kerosene and diesel. Kerosene is still important in households who have not accessed electricity, and I know you, when you are in the lower house and member of National Assembly, you are really pushing for last mile connectivity in terms of electricity, Mr. Speaker. So we are moving from that. Now we are now moving to diesel. And you know, the distinguished Senator Kamari is one of our farmers we are proud of. And she relies heavily on use of diesel. And me as a farmer. So when the price of diesel goes up, it affects even the cost of food production. We need, Mr. Speaker, and I think it's very critical that even as we discuss about the crop failure, especially where I come from, because there has been a prolonged drought, we might have issues of food shortages in the country, and we have been warned that between now and August and September, there might be prolonged drought, especially in semi-arid areas, and rains will begin again in October. So in as much we need a lot of diesel because we use for farm machinery, which, Mr. Speaker, if the cost of diesel, and we thank the President as farmers because the cost of fertilizer, at least, Mr. Speaker, was 2,500. And like when President Uhuru Kenyatta left power, he left it at 7,000 shillings, which we receive what we call, Mr. Speaker, fertilizer subsidy program, which was very important in terms of food production, Mr. Speaker. So the issue of fuel is important, Mr. Speaker, and therefore, when you look at Section 10 of Energy Act number 1 of 2019, the role of Energy Petroleum Regulatory Authority, Mr. Speaker, IPRA. I remember the government directed investigations on the 4th April 2026 when the MD of Kenya Pipeline resigned and the IPRA Director General also resigned. Mr. Speaker, we want to urge the EACC, the DCI, and other investigative agencies to move with speed so that we are told the reason why the MD, the DG, the MD of Kenya Pipeline, the Director General of IPRA, among other senior officials in procurement, resigned, Mr. Speaker, because it is important that the DCI and other investigative agencies ensure that it is 4 months since April up to now that the investigative agencies have not updated the country on what caused most of this high-level resignation, especially in the energy sector. Mr. Speaker, considering when you look at Section 10 and 11 of the Energy Act on the functions of IPRA is very critical, because one of the functions, Mr. Speaker, is ensuring steady supply of fuel, which this committee was investigating. So we need to be told, with the high-level resignation in the energy sector, did it affect the procurement of fuel, Mr. Speaker? Because the work of IPRA, one of the work of the IPRA is to ensure that there is steady supply of fuel in the energy sector that drives the economy, Mr. Speaker. And I want to appeal, and the EACC and DCI, Mr. Speaker, you know, in this country, we don't want to be treated where you find a matter is investigated for 10 years or 5 years. In fact, the EACC Act, and this is to the counties and people who like stealing from public. The EACC Act, Mr. Speaker, we should recommend any corruption case should and must be prosecuted within 24 months. I don't know whether Senator Mungatana, who is one of the senior lawyers, and he was in Pan-Africa Parliament in South Africa, we need to agree that any economic crime case, corruption, or any other, must and should be prosecuted within 24 months. So that Kenyans don't blame us, Mr. Speaker, so that Kenyans don't see that when somebody is involved in corruption, they can mark time in courts for 10 years before a conviction is secured. Mr. Speaker, we must be honest as a country, Mr. Speaker. And what is the essence of establishing anti-corruption courts in this country if they cannot prosecute and expeditiously some of these corruption cases, Mr. Speaker? Even concerning governors, Mr. Speaker, we are aware of many governors who have been mark timing in courts for the last many years, Mr. Speaker. Even the allegations that were facing your governor, they impeached Kawira Mwangaza, Mr. Speaker. They were corruption cases. We want to appeal that some of these cases should and must be dealt prompt so that Kenyans can have confidence in judiciary and prosecution. Even I want to urge DPP to stop withdrawing or the cases, especially corruption cases, Mr. Speaker. The DPP, we are aware there are many files for many counties who have been involved in corruption. Like Nandi, Mr. Speaker, there was a payroll fraud. Up to today, you are told by EACC and DPP, you are being told active investigation. Active investigation. Case analysis. File has been forwarded. Those are the 3 keywords in prosecution of corruption cases in this country. It is very unfortunate. And you know, DPP, Mr. Speaker, is an independent body. It is not controlled by anybody. Even the EACC, Mr. Speaker, so we should stop gerrymandering, Mr. Speaker, on the issues of integrity under Chapter 6 of Leadership and Integrity Act, a chapter, and Mr. Speaker, I'm happy you are a member of the lower house when you passed the Leadership and Integrity Act, Mr. Speaker, during your tenure in the lower house. So we must agree that the investigation to the senior officials in the energy sector must be expeditious. Mr. Speaker, I know there is the principle of innocent until proven guilty, which is okay. But we really want to know as Kenyans what really transpired. If we are told that there was the senior managers in the senior energy sector facilitated this disruption of supply chain, Mr. Speaker, then they must be held accountable as per the law. I want to thank the government, Mr. Speaker, because you have to appreciate there was also VAT tax costs. And you know, these are things, Senator Mongatana, the mover of this motion, Kenyans are not being told. That it is this parliament and the recommendation of the president, His Excellency President William Ruto, who is talking about Vision 2060, Mr. Speaker, that requested parliament to lower the value-added tax from 16% to 8% to make sure we stabilize the fuel prices in this country, Mr. Speaker. And there was a stabilization fund. I want to thank the government on the road maintenance levy fund that we contribute. Mr. Speaker, the government was able to give stabilization fund of 28.19 billion to stabilize the price of fuel in this country, which is very critical. Mr. Speaker, I've seen there is a proposal to toll Rironi Mau Summit. And you know that is close to me because I come from that region. Mr. Speaker, you have to appreciate that the road maintenance levy fund that was securitized, that was opposed by legacy and populist politicians, Mr. Speaker, including somebody who came and insulted you in your backyard, is the money that is securitized to build road from Wajir, Mogadashe, Kulamawe, Isiolo to Nairobi, Mr. Speaker. It's the same to Rironi Mau Summit, but I want to appeal. I can see at least the three of us come from that region. We should not toll that road, Mr. Speaker. That is the road that covers, and I can see a number of your clerks also come from that region. Why are we tolling that road? And we are not tolling Thika Superhighway. We are not tolling Mau Mau roads. We will resist, Mr. Speaker, and reject. Yes, we say no to any intention to toll Mau Sami Rironi. Mr. Speaker, since we are paid fuel through road maintenance levy fund, that should be enough. Or you remove road maintenance levy fund and toll us. We cannot have second-class citizens in this country. That the people who go to Western, Rironi Mau Summit are told. But the people who go to Mau Mau and Mount Kenya East or West, if you want to define Mount Kenya West or West, it is the business of your region. We don't want to know. But what we are saying, you cannot toll us. We are not children of a lesser God, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, we are totally against tolling because it will subject us to double taxation. And I want to say as a representative of the people of Nandi, Mr. Speaker, we will not pay to come to Nairobi through the road, yet we pay taxes in the fuel. So I want to appeal on behalf of many people who I'm speaking to, that the Ministry of Roads and Transport should abandon that idea. It is a stillbirth. You know, Mr. Speaker, women understand this. When you are not able to give birth, it is called stillbirth. So I want to advise that they should avoid that route. Because I know people from Bomet can decide to use Ngong Suswa all the way to Narok. They might not be told. But us who come from that region, Mr. Speaker, we are against. We are against, Mr. Speaker. And we are against. We want to tell the Ministry of Roads and Transport, please, abandon that idea. It is not, it is a wrong idea. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, on the issue of fuel quality, I want to thank the committee. I know there was intention of lowering fuel quality for 6 months, which started on 30th April, Mr. Speaker, 2026. Mr. Speaker, 30th April, 6 months. I hope the committee will be able. Mr. Speaker, my worry is it has been reduced. One, it will be dangerous to environmental impact. Mr. Speaker, if the quality of fuel. Number two, Mr. Speaker, you know, people drive SUVs, special utility vehicles. Mr. Speaker, if you imagine, if you get low fuel quality and you are driving a V8 or Lexus 600, You know, if it destroys your engine, you might need another 10 million to repair the car. So we must, this low fuel quality. For us who drive Toyota Prado 120, there is no problem. We'll go to Kirinyaga Road or Kawangware and get the Otieno. Mr. Speaker, I will fix it with us for 2,000 shillings, 3,000. My worry is on the 1% who are dollar billionaires in this country. They might suffer. For us, you just go to Kirinyaga Road or Krogon, Mr. Speaker, or Kawangware, get somebody up or Fuller to fix for you, and you are home and dry, Mr. Speaker. So this issue of fuel quality is dangerous for our vehicles, Mr. Speaker. We must be very keen because we don't want to create. Number two is on the issue of fuel impact, which will not, and I want to appeal to the committee, Mr. Speaker, that we ensure that the issue of fuel quality must be addressed. And Mr. Speaker, it goes back to IPRA and the Competition Authority of Kenya and COFEC. These are agencies that ensure that consumers are protected. And I don't know, Senator Mungatana, the mover of the motion, what is the role of Competition Authority of Kenya? They are supposed to protect consumers. Kenya Bureau of Standards, they are supposed to protect us. They are not just there for the sake of their. So, Mr. Speaker, that is the issue that I really wanted, the fuel quality. We must agree so that we don't destroy our vehicles, our environment, and also not good for doing business. Finally, Mr. Speaker, which I had alluded as I conclude on this very critical report, is we want to say we welcome Dangote to set this lamb. And I want to agree. The only way, Mr. Speaker, and I heard Senator Ogola and Senator Mungatana alluding to the fact that we need fuel reserves so that if there are global shocks of the magnitude of closure of Strait of Hormuz, what we are seeing in Iran and America and the Oman and the negotiations within the Middle East, Mr. Speaker, if our oil to be refined elsewhere and then bring it back, if we allow Dangote, Mr. Speaker, to set up our, we will ensure there is steady fuel reserve, Mr. Speaker. And finally, this shows also the confidence of the business community in President William Ruto's government, Mr. Speaker. And I think that is very critical, that all investors are welcome. You remember somebody said tourism should not come, Mr. Speaker, which was very unfortunate. We must, Mr. Speaker, allow and show that we have investor confidence in this republic going into the future. Mr. Speaker, with those very many remarks and to allow my colleagues to make a comment, I beg to support this report and wish the Energy Committee all the best as they reconstitute. And all who left, including Senator Ogola, we wish you well in other committees. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
So, Senator Chalgei, besides representing the Nguni people of Nandi County, can you also try to familiarize yourself with the terms and conditions of the contract that is handling Riloni Mausamit Road, so that now you can be able to maybe argue in confidence after looking at the terms and conditions, so that the Minister of Roads does not say they are the ones now putting the toll station, if that is the formula that has built the road. So maybe next time we'll be able to update me on the terms. Therefore, Senators, I have a communication to make on a benchmarking visit by members of the Task Force of Translation of Standing Orders to Kiswahili from the County Assembly of Kilifi. Honorable Senators, I would like to acknowledge the presence in the Speaker's Gallery this morning of a visiting delegation of members of the task force. Honorable Senator, do you know the rules of this game of the Senate? You can just freeze wherever you are. I will pardon you because you are just months old in the Senate. So, these are members of the task force on translation of standing orders to Kiswahili from the County Assembly of Kilifi. The delegation is on a benchmarking engagement on best practices at the Senate. I request each member of the delegation to stand when called out so that you may be acknowledged in the Senate tradition. 1, Mr. John Kubada, Director Hansand and On Service, end of delegation. Ms. Sally Kalzo, Chief Hansand Reporter. Mr. Omar Chupi, Chief Sergeant at Arms, Mr. Harlon Disipa, Sergeant at Arms 2, Mr. Justin Kalabu, Senior Research Officer, Mr. Lene Mzungu, Research Officer 2, Mr. Eli Kiribendi, Second Clerk Assistant, Mr. Kachezi Mwalili, Second Clerk Assistant, Mr. Keith Kisao, ICT Officer, Mr. Hia Toya, ICT Officer, Mr. Rashid Mbeto, Principal Legal Counsel, Ms. Rinda Nyamwata, Legal Counsel, Ms. Damali Safari, Public Relations Officer. On behalf of the Senate and on my own behalf, I extend a warm welcome to you and wish you a fruitful visit. I thank you. Seneta Mgatana, kwa lugha safi ya Kiswahili kutoka Tana River, basi wakaribisha wageni hawa majirani wako kutoka Kilifi County.
Asante Bwana Spika. Kwa niaba ya Spika nataka kusema wageni wetu kutoka kaunti yetu ya Kilifi tunawakaribisha hapa bungeni kwetu Senate. Tunawatakia nafasi nzuri kujifundisha mambo yote ambayo mmeyafuata hapa. Sisi tunafurahia sana wakati counties ama mabunge wa magatuzi wanakuja hapa Senate kujifundisha mambo kadha wa kadha. Sisi tunafurahia kwa sababu mapenzi yetu ni kwamba mabunge yetu 47 yanaweza kufanya kazi sawasawa na vile bunge la Senate linafanya kazi. Pia tunataka sana kuona uhusiano wetu kati ya mabunge ya gatuzi na bunge la Senate uzidi kuimarika, na unaimarika ikiwa muda kwa muda tunazungumza, tunafundishana, tunarekebishana ili mabunge yetu yaweze kufanya kazi vizuri. Kwa hayo mengi tunawakaribisha hapa kwetu bungeni Senate. Karibuni sana na tunawaombea wakati mwema wakati mtakuwa hapa kujifunza. Asante Bwana Speaker. Thank you.
Asante. Na kwa niaba ya seneta wa Kilifi ambayo ni mkubwa walio wachache, kiongozi wa wachache katika Senate, na kwa niaba ya mkubwa yangu Speaker wa Senate, na mimi pia nachukua fursa hii kuwakaribisha. Next, Senator Kamar, Professor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to join my colleagues in supporting the report from the Committee of Energy. And I want to support the adoption of this report because of the details that have been brought before us. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank the committee for going even beyond the mandate they were given to give us forward-looking recommendations. Mr. Speaker, as was mentioned by Senator Cherargei, I am a farmer, and one of those farmers that really suffered during this season when the diesel price was affected without notice. Mr. Speaker, farmers suffered, notwithstanding the fact that the climate was not very good for farming this year, so they had a double tragedy, that the climate was not good, the diesel price just moved very abruptly, and most farmers were not able to do all the operations that we normally do. So we are actually in danger this year, in danger of food insecurity. And worse still, the farmers are the victims of a lot of things this year. because the inputs they put in earlier may be higher than what they will get out of the crop. So I looked at the recommendations and I told myself, if these recommendations are implemented the way the committee have articulated, the future will be better in the petroleum sector. Mr. Speaker, one of the key recommendations the committee have given are on the emergency petroleum procurement. And even as we talk of the emergency procurement, we need to ask ourselves, are we able to predict everything? We know that when we are not able to predict the Hormuz factors and the wars that came in, it is very good to be planning ahead of time. Because one of the things that happened this time is that there was no emergency reserve. So the price just changed because there was no reserve, there was nothing. So the minute we are told the price changes tonight because there is no fuel, there was nowhere to cry to because there was, in fact, almost none at that time. Mr. Speaker, I like one of the strategies on Article 6, the strategic petroleum reserves and national energy security. This one we must establish. We must have a reserve, just the way we have strategic reserves of the food itself for food security. It is very important that we protect our farmers from what they suffered this year because of this. It is good for the government to prioritize actually having reserves that can give us a period, a lead period for a month, at least a month, so that farmers can organize themselves and so that they can even rescue the crops that are on the ground. This time, they were not even able to rescue because things just moved. So I allowed the committee for these recommendations that the government must prioritize the restructuring, recapitalization, and strengthening of the National Oil Corporation of Kenya, NOC. If NOC was as operational as it should be, we would not have gone through that. If we had strategic reserves in this country, we would have had less impact than we had in this time. So my plea is that this report has given timelines. This report is asking the ministry to deal with issues on a timely basis. We have items that are on 6 months, a lot of them are on 6 months, and we hope that the ministry will actually adhere to this. Mr. Speaker, we need sometimes to ask ourselves how we monitor implementation of very good reports like this one that came from Energy. How do we monitor so that we ensure that the relevant ministry actually adheres to that? Although we do not have an implementation committee, and we all agreed that the relevant committee must implement, we hope that this committee will demand, as soon as 6 months is over, for reports. And in most cases, when we demand for these reports, bring the minister right here. Let the CS come and answer to the House. Even if it is something that is coming from the committee should demand that the report be tabled by the CS in the House so that we are able to monitor the progress of the decisions that we have done. So this report has very good recommendations that are futuristic, recommendations that will change the way we do things in the energy sector. But if we don't implement them, it will be life as usual. We cannot accept that, Mr. Speaker. And I want to thank the committee because they really combed very nicely. Thank you, Chair of the committee and members of the committee. You actually looked at this sector properly and have given us tangible recommendations. let us support this report and let us push for the ministry, relevant ministry, to actually implement. I want to support also the arrival of Dangote refineries in Kenya. As a member of the delegation of the Pan-African Parliament, we have been talking about free movement of goods and free movement of persons. We have been talking of AfTA, the African Continental Free Trade Area, and we are not really seeing tangible movements of goods or investments. We thank God for one African who has decided he's going to invest in the whole continent. And we really pray that the government can facilitate him fully, so that we have a refinery that is continentally owned, a refinery that is owned by an African, a refinery that might even deal with the recommendations we are talking about. Because our emergency fuel doesn't have to be in the pipeline. It doesn't have to be in the petrol stations. It can be in the refineries. But most of the refineries that may not be continental may be looking for their money, and they might not even accept to have reserves for us. It will be possible to negotiate with a refinery like this. So we welcome the arrival of Dangote in Kenya, and we pray that they can actually be able to go beyond their usual call of duty to make sure that we stabilize fuel prices and fuel delivery in the continent. So for that, I really support them. It's also our hope that very soon our oil from Turkana County can be refined, can be extracted and refined within the country. Because some of the problems that we are faced, especially in the season that we are talking about, is because of wars that are kilometers and kilometers away from us. And you ask yourself, how can we be depending on nations that are far from us? It is time that we actually go into collaboration. We know Uganda is already drilling, Kenya should be drilling, and if we can have investors that are continental, we'll be able to move. This is the whole reason why we are talking of the African Free Trade Area. Let us see how we can support one another as a continent. Those who have oil, let's see how we can have a pipeline. That takes me to the issue of infrastructure across the continent. Because Nigeria is refining, but we don't have pipelines that are crossing the continent. We need to allow pipelines to flow freely, so that even if we are saying the crude oil can be refined in Nairobi, in Mombasa, we should be able to have pipelines that will go to Rwanda, will go to Burundi, and will go to even Congo from a refinery in Mombasa. Infrastructure in this continent is very essential for us to have the free trade area implemented. So, Mr. Speaker, I support, I thank the committee, and my main point is, let us monitor the implementation by the relevant ministry. Let's not allow these very good recommendations to remain in this Senate. Mr. Speaker, with those remarks, I support. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. My dashboard and no other member wishing to contribute, but I can see Senator Kolil has just pressed the request button. After that, this is an afterthought. Senator Kolil Joyce.
Yeah, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Sometimes these gadgets gives us a lot of problems in terms of admitting us, but I thank you for getting that opportunity to have a look at it. Being a commissioner doesn't mean you are an implementer. There are those who implement. Yeah, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Allow me to thank the Committee on Energy for a wonderful report that I've given to this House. I know a number of issues has been raised by the honorable colleagues, bearing in mind, Honorable Speaker, that without petrol or proper handling of petrol, it leads to a lot of shortcomings and a lot of destructions in the country. Honorable Speaker, I know at some point there was an acute shortage of petroleum, which forced a number of dealers to shoot the prices, hampering a number of businesses and even the farming in this country, Honorable Speaker. And I want to say that, Honorable Speaker, that if we are going to address these irregularities by deploying the real-time digital tracking of these petroleum, Honorable Speaker, at least we are going to be able to address a number of issues that are affecting the sector, Honorable Speaker. There is also the issues of the reforming the import and procurement frameworks, which I want to believe, Honorable Speaker. I've always said that procurement is something that has been giving us a lot of challenges because of the malpractices that are involved, bearing in mind, Honorable Speaker, that this is the only way that we are going to get the competitive suppliers and Honorable Speaker, we can be able to address a number of issues that are affecting us, Honorable Speaker. I also want to talk about the issue of strengthening the regulatory oversight and testing, which I want to believe they are the ones also who are supposed to ascertain whether the petrol that is being supplied is up to the standard or not, Honorable Speaker. So I want to thank the committee because if they are going to push for the implementation of this report, I know these issues are going to be addressed. Honorable Speaker, there is also the issue of imposing the strict penalties for those who are doing the malpractices, Honorable Speaker. If this is going to be taken seriously, if they will impose this, I know we will reduce a number of cartels who are taking advantage of sneaking in substandard petrol to the country, Honorable Speaker, and even the shortcuts that they are using in terms of maybe getting these contracts, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I don't want to say much, but I just want to thank the committee and support. Thank you.
Now, since there are no other senators willing to contribute, I call upon the mover to reply.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank the Honorable Beatrice Ogola for seconding the motion. I want to thank Honorable Gerard Gay, Honorable Professor Kamar, Honorable Korir for seconding this motion, for contributing to this motion. Mr. Speaker, as the members were speaking, one of the most important underlying points that was made was that the committee, the Senate Energy Committee, should make follow-up on implementation of the resolutions and the recommendations that this House will adopt. And Mr. Speaker, what I was doing online here is to put it on our page that we should mark the days so that Secretariat will make a point to invite the different organizations against whom recommendations have been made to come and give us progress reports. Mr. Speaker, some of the recommendations are very heavy, including the recommendations that we should have strategic reserves in this country for purposes of making sure there is security of supply of oil products in the country. So, Mr. Speaker, we will do that. I have listened carefully to what the colleagues have said on the plenary of this House. We will share it even in the next sitting of the Energy Committee. I want to thank them again for their very valuable contributions. Mr. Speaker, I beg to reply. And Mr. Speaker, I wanted to make an application that for purposes of putting the question, to be answered, pursuant to Standing Order 66, Sub Rule 3, we request that that be deferred. Mr. Speaker, so we request that you defer the putting of the question. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Senator Mungatana. And pursuant to Standing Order 66.3, putting of the question is hereby deferred to the next sitting of the House. Clerk, call the next order, please.
Order number 12, motion, report of the Standing Committee on Energy on its inquiry regarding the handing over of a cooking gas handling facility in Mombasa County to a private firm.
Senator Mungatana.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that the Senate adopts the report of the Standing Committee on Energy on its inquiry regarding the handing over of a cooking gas facility in Mombasa County to a private firm laid on the table of the Senate on Tuesday, 14th July 2026. Mr. Speaker, the Senate Energy Committee sat on the 3rd of June 2025, and they discussed the statement that was sought by the Honorable Okia Omtata regarding the handing over of a cooking gas facility to a private facility. And Mr. Speaker, we agreed that we will go to Mombasa and look at the premises of Kenya Petroleum Refineries Limited so that we can find out from all the players whether in fact there was breach of any law regarding the handing over of that facility so that liquefied petroleum gas could be produced in Kenya. So, Mr. Speaker, we engaged the stakeholders. We talked with the Ministry of Energy, we talked with the Treasury, we talked with Kenya Pipeline Company and Kenya Petroleum Refineries Limited. We did this through interviews and submissions, and then we went to Mombasa under the leadership of our chair, Dr. Oburu Oginga, so that we can see whether in fact we were going, the people or the Republic of Kenya was going to lose anything if the site was handed over to the company. So we went there, Mr. Speaker, and saw that the 23.19 acre parcel of land that was given to Asharami Synergy Limited, the whole process was correct. Mr. Speaker, it was not going to interfere with the land that houses the Kenya Petroleum Refineries Limited, because the area where that LPG, liquefied petroleum gas facility, was supposed to be set up was an area that is not useful for any other work. And it was a small part of the entire land that belongs to Kenya Petroleum Refineries Limited. We also found out that the application of the Specially Permitted Procurement Procedure, SPPP, to select Asharami Synergy Limited was conducted in full compliance with Section 114A, subsection 2, subsection F of the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act 2015. So, Mr. Speaker, the approvals from all the multi-agencies, including the National Treasury, the Office of the Attorney General, the National Lands Commissions, they were all obtained in accordance with the law. Mr. Speaker, when we went there to conclude, we found out that if that facility is set up, it will keep on track the government target to achieve increasing per capita LPG consumption from 7.5 kg to 15 kg by 2028. Mr. Speaker, the other thing we were informed is that once this facility is set up and then the lease is expired, once the production is done over a period of time, the arrangement was that all the infrastructure that has been put up there will be surrendered back to the government. So, Mr. Speaker, the nation stands to lose nothing from the way we looked at it. And we thought that we are fighting towards increasing consumption of clean energy in Kenya. If this Asharami came and started to produce, it would help in boosting the supplies, it would increase the market players, therefore cooking gas prices might come down, which is our expectation. And Mr. Speaker, may I say that our hope at that time, which was a few months ago, has actually materialized, because we are informed reliably that, in fact, that construction has been done, and in fact, liquefied gas production is going to take place very soon. So our report, therefore, Mr. Speaker, recommends that there is nothing inappropriate that was there in the appointment of Asharami Synergy Limited to start production of liquefied petroleum gas at Kenya Petroleum Refineries Limited land in Mombasa. We also know that there will be employment created there, and the only thing the recommendation said is that the administrative processes required for the development of the allocation should be finalized as soon as possible, and we believe it has, because we have reliably been informed that the processes are completed and they are about to start production. So, Mr. Speaker, we would only insist that all the technical plans and everything that needed to be done in accordance with the recommendations of this report, they should be given and submitted to the committee within 45 days of the adoption of this report. Mr. Speaker, I also want to point out that once we adopt this report, just like the other report, we are going to make sure that the same government agencies that we had engaged, we are going to call them so that we can ensure that actual compliance with the recommendation of the Senate is being carried. But for now, Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that we adopt that report and call upon Honorable Cherargei to second this motion. I thank you.
Senator Cherargei.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Sir, as I beg to second, this is a straightforward matter. What I'm happy that the committee has done is to ensure that the handing over of cooking gas handling to a private firm was within the law. Mr. Speaker, as you are aware, under Article 10 on national values and principles of good governance, the rule of law is one of the ingredients of any process. And I think, Mr. Speaker, looking at Chapter 13 on principles of public finance, one of the issues is to ensure transparent and accountable processes. And therefore, looking at the request by the distinguished senator of of Okia or Mutata. I think he calls himself senator from Busia. And this Sharawe group, Asharami Synergy, which is a subsidiary of Sahara Group in Nigeria, is, Mr. Speaker, follow the law of procurement, and government stands nothing to lose. In fact, this shows investor confidence that we were discussing earlier in the country. We want to encourage investors to establish in this country. We want to ensure that any procurement is above board. Mr. Speaker, with the e-procurement in place, all sectors were followed, Mr. Speaker. I think as a country we should encourage investors. We should be like Rwanda to ensure we don't put unnecessary bottlenecks. We should not politicize investment in this country, Mr. Speaker. Allow, and I think, Mr. Speaker, one of the important, as I conclude, is this public land. The procedure of leasing was followed by Asharami Synergy, Mr. Speaker. The also creation of employment. We know Mombasa and Coast is struggling to access of employment. You remember Nairobi, Mr. Speaker, has 60% of GDP, and every Kenyan would want to come to Nairobi. But how do we ensure there is access of opportunities across the country? By encouraging investors to invest across the country. I think, you know, even in your county, I think the Tenwek Hospital, you have to give it through the AGC Church, African Gospel Church, led by Dr. Langat, Bishop. And I know your people from your region, majority belong to AGC. Those you have to give it to the investment that has happened in that region. So we must encourage investors and call out politicians who want to politicize, Mr. Speaker. I remember the former impeached deputy president wanted to politicize the issue of tourism, Mr. Speaker. And we say, shindwe katika jina la Yesu. Because the tourism sector, Mr. Speaker, if I was watching the president of Tanzania, Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, Mr. Speaker, speaking about the importance of tourism and why Tanzania is earning a lot. Then an impeach somebody who is visionless, who is agendaless, who does not have a focus, wants to create what we call rumor mongering, village rumor mongering, and scaring away tourists. Yet this country is strategic for tourism. We want to increase. Mr. Speaker, you saw there were 7 million plus tourists in this country. Over 60% come from Kenya. We want to increase to 3-4 million foreign tourists that we have in this country. And therefore, that one was in bad faith. I was shocked even, Mr. Speaker, he later came and supported the Batuk British and said when they move out of, is it like even Anyuki, he retreated. And he was calling them strange names, Mr. Speaker. You know, he was calling them funny. But when he realized he retreated his statement and said he is the one who intervened. And he had made unsubstantiated allegations that there was a demand of $1 billion plus in bribe to allow the Batuk to still train in Kenya. But I want to thank the Committee of National Security in the National Assembly for insisting that even if these soldiers have to train in Kenya, they must follow the local laws. Because we have lost lives in that region. We have seen women being raped, Mr. Speaker. We have seen children being born and no one is taking care of them, Mr. Speaker, by soldiers. There is no problem to procreate. God gave us opportunity to come to this world and fill them and give birth and procreate. We are not objecting that the British should not procreate with the Kenyan women. They should, but they should follow the law. If you get a child, you must take care of that child. And I want to appeal to CS Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi to ensure we have a framework that when somebody gives, procreates, or the child is given by a British soldier, we follow them, and they must pay for the child upkeep. I think that is what is important. You know, our women are not procreating machines where you just come, you sleep with them, they give birth, and then you run out. We want to deal with deadbeat fathers, both internationally and locally, so that we can move on as a country. Mr. Speaker, I think with those many remarks, I want to thank the committee and support this report. Let us allow Asharami Synergy to set up their project, their plan there. Let us get cheap cooking cars so that women also do not need to suffer with the. Mr. Speaker, when we are growing up, in conclusion, you know, when we used to go for lunch at this hour from Cheptarit Primary School somewhere in Mosori at Nandi, I used to get my mother. I could not see my mother in the kitchen because there is too much smoke in use of firewood, Mr. Speaker, and our mothers suffered. If our mothers greet you, you think they are sandpaper. Mr. Speaker, because they are struggling, Mr. Speaker, with those many remarks, because we want to move with other issues, we want women to have a clean cooking gas. And the only way is to encourage more gas plants so that our women do not suffer with smoke. Apart from suffering physically, they suffer also lungs, Mr. Speaker. The food quality is not very good because it's not well cooked. And, Mr. Speaker, we want everybody to eat well in this country. With those many remarks, I beg to second this report of the Energy Committee.
Honorable Senators, I now wish to propose the question that the Senate adopts the report of the Standing Committee on Energy on its inquiry regarding the handing over of a cooking gas handling facility in Mombasa County to a private firm laid on the table of the Senate on Tuesday, 14th of July, 2026. Now, members, this motion is available for contributions by members, and I will invite Senator Joyce Korir. I can see you have made a request on my dashboard, so you may go first on your contributions to the motion. Senator Joyce.
Yeah, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Allow me to thank the committee on this report. It's still the Committee on Energy on the inquiry regarding the handing over of a cooking gas handling facility in Mombasa County. Honorable Speaker, I just want to say that, Honorable Speaker, I think one of the things that we embrace as a government is giving room to investors to invest in this country so that at the end of the day, we can also be able to get opportunities for our youths, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, you remember one of the blueprints pillars, Honorable Speaker, is the issue of innovation and industrialization, Honorable Speaker. And I want to say, Honorable Speaker, that being a mother, Honorable Speaker, I know the consequences of using the firewood and using the cars. And Honorable Speaker, this private investor, Honorable Speaker, who has seen the need to install the cars, the cooking cars in Mombasa, Honorable Speaker, should be given room, Honorable Speaker. It's only the duty of the government and the county government to make sure that they have the requisite documentation. They follow the procedures in terms of acquisition. They also use the right chemicals in terms of producing the said cars, so that at the end of the day, Honorable Speaker, we also avoid harming the lives of the Kenyans, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, without far much ado, I want to support the report. Thank you.
Senator Mandago.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rise to support this motion on clean energy, on provision of cooking gas. Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, first let me say that the government of Kenya today, led by President William Ruto, is the most transformative administration we've seen, Honorable Speaker, in terms of the welfare of citizens in matters health and provision of clean energy. Honorable Speaker, for those who have not suffered the consequences of our mothers, cooking with firewood, in some places cooking with dry cow dung, cooking with charcoal, Honorable Speaker, they may not understand the seriousness of this matter. In fact, a majority of our mothers, any mother in rural Kenya, aged 70 years and above, are actually suffering an ailment that affects the heart, that affects the respiratory, because of the many years of exposure to smoke. Honorable Speaker. And Honorable Speaker, it's only reasonable for the government of Kenya to provide an enabling environment for investors who can invest in cooking gas that is going to provide clean energy for our mothers, for our wives, for our daughters, Honorable Speaker, not just to be able to cook using clean energy, but also, Honorable Speaker, as a means of prevention of heart diseases that our mothers have suffered from for many years. Honorable Speaker, I therefore support the investment by the private investor in establishing a cooking gas plant in the coastal part of this nation, Honorable Speaker. And we therefore want to ask the county governments in that region to support this investor, to mobilize the residents, to do proper sensitization so that this project can take off within the shortest time without any hitches, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, besides the provision of clean cooking energy, there is opportunity for Kenyans to get employment. We all appreciate that one of the biggest pressure that we have as a nation now is how to create employment for many young people. This is an opportunity, Honorable Speaker, that will provide employment for a number of young people in the country, Honorable Speaker, and therefore we support this investment, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, finally, let me say that as leaders in this nation, elected or not elected, or formally elected, impeached or not impeached, Honorable Speaker, we should be responsible in our statements, particularly on what would greatly affect our economy, affect our livelihoods, Honorable Speaker, so that in the work of politics, we don't make reckless statements that puts the investment environment of this nation into jeopardy. I therefore want to support this motion and say the Energy Committee of the Senate has done a fantastic job in clearing and supporting this investment. I submit, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Senators, there is no other member who is queuing to support or contribute to this motion, and I will therefore call upon the mover, Senator Mungatana, to reply.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank the Honorable Cherargei for seconding this motion. I want to thank the Honorable Senator Korir for supporting this motion. I want to thank the Honorable Senator Mandago for supporting this motion. Mr. Speaker, the provision of adequate LPG gas, as we said, is a practical thing. And it has been demonstrated through the submissions on the floor of this House that allowing the private player to come into Kenya so that they can increase the provision of liquefied petroleum gas is not a statistic, is not a joke, it's a reality. Our mothers have suffered through the smoke, through cooking with charcoal, through cooking with firewood, through cooking with dried cow dung. And now we are moving into a new era where the new mothers are going to be having clean cooking gas because of the decisions that we made under the administration of Dr. William Ruto in this administration. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank my colleagues for supporting and emphasizing the need for us to make follow-up on the recommendations. And Mr. Speaker, what I have done is to post on our page as Energy Committee that the Secretariat must keep track on the timings, on the months, because after 6 months, we would like to see implementation reports on the decisions and the recommendations that this Senate has made through the Energy Committee. With those many remarks, Mr. Speaker, I beg to reply. And Mr. Speaker, I want to make an application that pursuant to Standing Order 63, Sub Rule 3, that the putting of the question be deferred to another day. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Senator Mugatana. Putting of the question to the motion is hereby deferred to the next sitting of the House, pursuant to Standing Order 63. Now, honorable members, I will rearrange the order for purposes of convenience of the House and to transact business in order number 9. Clerk, call out order number 9.
Order number 9, the Livestock Protection and Sustainability Bill, Senate Bills number 32 of 2024, second reading.
Senator Dr. Lelengwe, you may proceed to move the motion.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of the Standing Orders 1461, I rise to move that the Livestock Production and Sustainability Bill 2024, Senate Bills number 32 of 2024, be read a second time. Honorable Speaker, sir, this bill seeks to address critical vulnerabilities in Kenya's livestock sector, particularly in the face of recurring droughts and climate-induced challenges. Mr. Speaker, sir, devolution, as enshrined in our Constitution, has empowered counties to manage agriculture, including livestock. Mr. Speaker, sir, under Part 2 of the 4th Schedule, yet the sector remains exposed. Arid and semi-arid lands covering approximately 80% of Kenyan landmass and home to about 36 to 38% of population holds over 70% of the national livestock, but suffer a brunt of environmental shocks. Mr. Speaker, sir, regions supports the livelihoods of millions of pastoralists for whom livestock is both economic assets and cultural heritage. Mr. Speaker, sir, the livestock sector contributes approximately 12% to the national GDP and employs about 50% of agricultural workforce, that is according to Kenya National Bureau of Standards and IRRIL data. It directly sustains over 10 million people. However, recurrent droughts, fodder and water shortages, disease outbreaks, and market vulnerabilities continue to threaten foundations of this sector. Honorable Speaker, 2020-2023 drought, I think you remember, the worst in the Kenyan history over 40 years. According to the National Drought Management Authority, claimed over 2.6 million livestock, triggered acute food insecurity for millions, and inflicted massive economic losses in the country. Climate Models Project marked a rise in drought frequency and severity by 2050. The Sahel region's temperatures rise is projected to rise up by 1.7 to 3.5 degrees centigrade, risking significant declines in livestock productivity without urgent intervention. The bill therefore seeks to rectify these gaps by providing a clear clause-by-clause legal framework for protection, sustainability, and resilience in this sector. Honorable Speaker, sir, specifically in Part 2 of the bill, that is Clause 4 to 5, Clause 3 to 4, clearly delineates the complementary roles of the national and county government. Clause 3 mandates the Cabinet Secretary to formulate national policies on livestock management, disaster mitigation, and feed reserve strategies to establish the National Livestock Feeds Reserve. To collaborate with the counties on standards for pasture and water management, and to provide technical assistance. Specifically, Clause 4 in turn requires each county executive committee member responsible for livestock to develop, implement protection strategies aligned with national policy, promote sustainable farming practices, monitor feed risk, and establish county-level strategy. Reserves maintain a data management systems, collaborate with stakeholders to facilitate water access and insurance risk farmers to markets, enforce standards established for the banks, conduct capacity building, and work with the national government on emergency measures. These provisions end the previous silo approach and create seamless national and county coordination. Honorable Speaker, Part 3 of this bill, that is Clause 5 to 7, introduces the core protection and sustainability measures. Clause 5 requires the Cabinet Secretary to consult with the Council of Governors to develop and maintain feed risk data management systems that collect data from multiple sources, maintains a secure centralized database, uses advanced analytics to access risk and shortages, generates regular reports, and disseminates timely information to stakeholders. And Clause 6 establishes the National Livestock Feed Reserve, consisting of physical stock, held through warehouse receipts, and it is cash equivalent, whose objectives are to provide emergency feed during drought, mitigate price vulnerability, promote efficiency resource use, and encourage storage during periods of oversupply. The Cabinet Secretary may declare specific feeds as reserve commodities by a Gazette notice. Honorable Speaker, Clause 7 obligates every county to prepare a comprehensive drought resilience plan covering vulnerability assessments, historical patterns, climate trends, potential impacts, resilience strategies, implement roles, resources mobilization, and a monitoring and evaluation framework. The bill further requires each county to establish at least 0.5% of its annual budget to this plan, taking into account its financial capacity, drought severity, projections, economic dependence on livestock, and community input. At the end of each financial year, Mr. Speaker, sir, the county will then require to report progress to the county assembly for their approval. These clauses transform reactive crisis response into proactive data-driven resilience. Honorable Speaker, sir, Part 4 of the bill, that is Clause 8 to 10, creates the financial backbone through which the County Livestock Enterprise Development Fund. Clause 8 requires counties where livestock significantly contribute to the local economy, determines by criteria to be developed by the Cabinet Secretary in consultation with the Council of Governors, and redefined locally to establish the fund via county legislation. The fund will receive appropriations, income from its operations, and investments, and grants or donations. Honorable Speaker, Clause 9 sets out its purpose its purposes: establish and management of strategic feed reserves, grant for emergency reserves, loan for restocking after drought losses, loans to medium and small livestock enterprises, credit facilities for micro enterprises in pastoral areas, and other purposes prescribed in the county law. Clause 10 requires the criteria for identifying eligible counties, standardized nationally yet adaptable locally and approved by the respective county assembly. This fund directly empowers small-scale farmers and pastoralists with emergency support and recovery capital. Mr. Speaker, Clause 5, that is Part 5 of the bill, that is Clause 5, empowers the Cabinet Secretary to consult with the Council of Governors to make regulations for the effective implementation of this Act, including the detailed management and distribution of the National Livestock Feeds Reserve. Honorable Speaker, this bill seeks to deliver tangible benefits. The data systems and reserves will enable early targeted interventions. The county plans and 0.5% budget ring fence will institutionalize preparedness. The fund will provide immediate liquidity for restocking and enterprise growth with market linkages. Clause 4, particularly 4H, will establish incomes. The framework aligns with the Article 43 of the Constitution, right to food security, and Article 174, devolution objectives, promotes equity for women, youth, and persons with disabilities who form a large part of pastoral labor, and optimizes public resources by shifting from expensive emergency aid to prevention. The consequences of enacting this bill are further enriching and positive. It seeks to enhance transparency through data systems and fund oversight, establish the livestock value chain, reduces poverty, creates jobs, and build long-term resilience against climate change. Comparable models, Mr. Speaker, sir: Ethiopia's Productive Safety Net program, 40% reduction in drought losses. Australia's National Drought Policy that has led to strategic reserve and risk data, and the South Africa's Livestock Improvement Scheme. Intergovernmental funding demonstrate that such frameworks work. Kenya can achieve the same outcomes. While some may raise concerns about the county budgets or market disruptions, the bill addresses them through flexible capacity-based allocations, that is specifically at Clause 7, Part 3, and Sub-Clause 3, and necessity-driven mechanisms ensuring minimal operational impact. In conclusion, to ensure the success, we must invest in capacity building for county officials and robust monitoring. As I conclude, Honorable Speaker, I urge all Honorable Senators to support this bill. It offers a clear, practical framework that will improve coordination between the national and county governments, giving the counties the tools and resources that will need to protect livestock during droughts, reduce heavy losses pastoralists continue to suffer, and strengthen our preparedness for climate change that have become a regular feature of our reality. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move, and I call upon Senator Cherargei to second. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Cherargei.
Mr. Speaker, I want to congratulate the distinguished Senator of Samburu, our Deputy Majority Whip, Chair, for this moving this bill. I think, Mr. Speaker, as we are aware under Article 96, one of the role of the Senate is to legislate, and we push for the welfare. And I appreciate where Senator Lilegwe, Dr. Lilegwe is coming from, because, Mr. Speaker, you have to appreciate that Samburu is one of the 13 counties that has been earmarked by World Bank program called Food Resilient Program, FSRB, if I got that one right, Food Resilient, Food System and Resilient Program, including Samburu, Baringo, the northern counties like Garissa, Marsabit, among others, where the World Bank intends to inject around 18 billion for the next 6 years between 2023 and 2024. So I want to congratulate him for ably moving and thinking about this bill, that the Livestock Protection and Sustainability Bill of 2024. Mr. Speaker, in this House, as I second, we have already discussed about the tea farmers, which is to your heart and also my heart, because most of our farmers tea. We have discussed issues of maize, which I'm very passionate about, the issues of sugar sector farmers. We have discussed even the Ngu farmers. We have discussed many types of farmers, cashew nut farmers, coconut farmers, dairy farmers, where Senator Lilegwe comes from. And I appreciate that for the first, I think, these rare occasions where we're discussing about pastoralists and farmers, Mr. Speaker, and I want to congratulate Senator Lilegwe. Mr. Speaker, you remember in 2023, I did move a bill called the Prevention of Livestock Theft, Prevention of Livestock and Produce Theft, which is in third reading in the National Assembly. And I thought that the issue of pastoralists and farmers, especially cattle keepers, Mr. Speaker, it should be protected. Most of us, we are referred to as pastoralists by nature. The fact that we later became farmers, all of us, especially, and I know Senator Lilegwe appreciates this, all of us are pastoralists, Mr. Speaker, because there is Bantus, there are Nilotes, River Lake Nilotes, Isla Nilotes, Mr. Speaker. And the Livestock Protection and Sustainability Bill is very important because, Mr. Speaker, I was having a discussion with the mover, and we realized that we have not thought about even livestock insurance to our farmers to ensure that during drought season, Mr. Speaker, you are aware, if the information I got is correct, is that we are likely to experience drought between September and August, Mr. Speaker, which will affect especially arid and semi-arid areas. And majority of this is where, Mr. Speaker, to give background to this information, are you aware that 70% of livestock are in arid and semi-arid areas, including Samburu, where the senator represents, and 36%, Mr. Speaker, percent of the population live in semi-arid and arid areas. Mr. Speaker, there are 7 million cattle keepers, just for colleagues to understand, in this country. And Mr. Speaker, by the numbers of Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, there is about 18 million cattle in terms of population, 28 goats million, and 17 million sheep that is in the country. Therefore, this shows that this sector is very critical. And the distinguished senator proposes that we must ensure there is sustainable feed. We are not talking about only feed, we are talking about quality and accessible, affordable feed, Mr. Speaker. Because for people who have largely been cattle keepers, you know the critical that the consumption of what the cattle or any livestock consume is important even in the production. So that you get high quality milk, you get a continuous production of milk, Mr. Speaker, and even meat that is being supplied to Kenya Meat Commission, Mr. Speaker. And we are being told that there is a shortage of livestock feed of dry matter of 33 million metric tons in the country. And this affects, Mr. Speaker, that is where this bill is trying to achieve, that we must have a strategy in place. Like we were discussing about fuel strategic grain reserve, we are discussing about food security of population, but we must discuss, I know there are over 3 million Kenyans who are facing challenges of access to food in the country, especially in people who live in Kakuma and many other areas. So, Mr. Speaker, we must agree, but also we must have accountability because I'm aware of the issue of emergency.
Mental coordination to ensure equitable access to such services. Concerned that despite the existing constitutional, legal, and policy framework, many residents of informal settlements in Nairobi County continue to experience inadequate, unreliable, unsafe, and unaffordable access to water and sanitation services due to inadequate infrastructure, weak implementation, and insufficient investment in water supply and sanitation infrastructure and service delivery. Appreciating that expanding water and sanitation infrastructure, strengthening public-private community partnerships, and promoting community participation can significantly improve access to affordable, safe, and sustainable water and sanitation services within informal settlements. Now, therefore, the Senate resolves that the Nairobi City County Government, through the Nairobi City Water and Sewage Company, in collaboration with the Ministry of Water, Sanitation and Irrigation, the Athi Water Works Agency, the Water Resource Authority, and other relevant authorities, 1, develops and implements a county water and sanitation improvement plan with clear targets, timelines, and financing for expanding water and sewerage services to informal settlements. 2, strengthens water supply infrastructure, sewage networks, and sanitation facilities while promoting appropriate low-cost and innovative service delivery models. 3, establishes transparent regulatory and consumer protection measures to curb illegal water connections, exploitation through informal water vending, inflated tariffs, and unsafe water supply practices. And 4, deploys in collaboration with the Water Resources Authority adequate financial, technical, and institutional resources to restore and protect urban rivers and water catchment areas within Nairobi City County through strengthened enforcement against pollution, rehabilitation of riparian ecosystems, and sustained investment in water resource protection so as to ensure a reliable and sustainable supply of clean and safe water to all residents of Nairobi City County. Senator Catherine Muma, MP. Honorable Speaker, shall I proceed with the next? No,
what are you holding?
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Is it a notice?
No, it is not. Sorry, Mr. Speaker.
Then you'll await till we call the order. Next order.
Order number 7, questions and statements.
Statement pursuant to Standing Order 52-1. The Honourable Senator for Nandi County.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Statement on the outstanding performance of Team Kenya at the 2026 Commonwealth Games Glasgow in United Kingdom. Mr. Speaker, I raise pursuant to Standing Order 52-1 to make a statement on a matter of national concern, namely the outstanding performance of Team Kenya at 2026 Commonwealth Games held in Glasgow, Scotland. Mr. Speaker, sir, Kenya once again demonstrated its sporting excellence on the international stage, with Team Kenya securing 12 medals comprising 3 gold, 4 silver, and 5 bronze medals. The performance was headlined by exceptional displays in athletics, where Kenyan athletes reaffirmed the country's place among the world's leading sporting nations. Mr. Speaker, sir, Edmund Serem delivered one of the most remarkable performances at the Games by winning gold in men's 3,000 meters triple chase. His victory was even more sweet and significant by an extraordinary all-Kenyan podium sweep, with Simon Kiprop Koech taking silver and Leonard Kipkemoi Bett securing bronze. The achievement gave Kenya an historic clean sweep of all 3 medals in the event and demonstrated the remarkable depth of talent that continues to exist in Kenyan athletes. Matthew Kipchumba Kipsang added another gold medal for Kenya in the men's 5,000 meters, further reaffirming the country's enduring strength in middle and long distance running. Mr. Speaker, sir, in the women's 3,000 meters triple chase, Faith Cherotich, a newcomer, further underlined Kenya's dominance by winning gold and setting a new Commonwealth Games record. Her performance was a powerful demonstration of both individual excellence and continued strength of Kenya's tradition in both men and women's triple chase. Mr. Speaker, sir, the achievements extended beyond the gold medals. Stephen Ndangiru Kihu won silver in the men's 10,000 meters race walk, while Diana Wanza secured silver in the women's 10,000 meters, and Lillian Odira, I think comes from Migori, where Senator Eddy comes from, took silver in the women's 800 meters. Wycliffe Kinyamala added bronze medal in the men's 800 meters, while Timothy Cheruiyot secured bronze in the men's 1 mile. Irene Chepkemboi also claimed bronze in the women's javelin, demonstrating Kenya's ability to compete successfully beyond its traditional distance running events. Mr. Speaker, and this is the first female women javelin that has won as a country. Joshua Amunga Mboya's bronze medal in the men's 60 kilos weight lifting event was also equally significant. His achievement broadened Kenya's medal contribution beyond athletics and demonstrated the potential for Kenyan athletes to excel in other sporting disciplines when given the requisite opportunity, preparation, and support. Mr. Speaker, sir, these achievements are a source of immense national pride. The historic clean sweep in the men's triple chase, Faith Cherotich's record-breaking victory, the gold medal performance of Matthew Kipsang, and the strong showcasing across range of other events reflecting the discipline, resilience, talent, and determination of Kenyan athletes. These are not merely individual accomplishments, they are national triumphs that have brought honor to our flag and demonstrated the extraordinary potential of our young people. Mr. Speaker, sir, it is therefore imperative that the success of Team Kenya be met more with an applause. Our athletes deserve appropriate recognition and reward for their achievements, as well as sustained investment in their welfare, training, coaching, medical support, preparation for international competition. The government must ensure the athletes who bring honor to Kenya are supported throughout their careers, and their contribution in awards and other things should not be taxed by KRA, so that they can add to our national identity is properly acknowledged. So, Speaker, sir, finally, the performance of Team Kenya in Glasgow, Scotland, should also inspire renewed investment in sports infrastructure and talent development across the country. And I want to applaud the President for the ongoing study being done across the country, including Raila Odinga Talanta Stadium here in Nairobi. We must also strengthen talent identification at the grassroots, improve sporting facilities, invest in qualified coaches, and create clear pathways through which young athletes can progress from local competition to international stage. Mr. Speaker, sir, I thank you.
Now, request for statement pursuant to Standing Order 53-1. The Honourable Senator Betty Montet.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, I have a request for statement on the impact of industrial air emissions from cement and steel manufacturing companies in the country. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53.1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Land, Environment and Natural Resources on a matter of nationwide concern regarding the impact of industrial air emissions from cement and steel manufacturing companies in the country. Mr. Speaker, cement and steel production in Kenya plays a significant role in economic development through job creation, revenue generation, regional trade, and support for government initiatives such as affordable housing. However, this can I be protected, Mr. Speaker?
Senator Boni, take your seat.
Thank you. However, these industries also present environmental and public health concerns, particularly through air pollution, reduced feasibility, respiratory illness, and ecosystem degradation in areas hosting such facilities. These facilities including Machakos, Kajiado, and coastal counties. This raises questions regarding compliance with environmental laws, emission standards, and licensing conditions, as well as the effectiveness of the National Environmental Management Authority, NEMA's, monitoring and enforcement mechanisms. In the statement, the committee should address the following. 1. The real-time monitoring mechanisms employed by the National Environmental Management Authority, NEMA, on continuous and unlawful dust emissions from the manufacturing plants beyond scheduled annual audits. 2. The measures by the Ministry of Environment, Climate Change and Forestry to address public concerns regarding nighttime emissions and excessive particulate pollution from cement and steel industries. Number 3, the coordination mechanisms between the Ministry of Environment, Climate Change and Forestry and the Ministry of Health in conducting health assessments and studies for communities living adjacent to cement and steel plants. Lastly, the measures adopted to ensure that environmental and social impact assessments for new or expanding cement and steel plants adequately incorporate community participation, concerns, and consent during project approval processes. Senator Betty Montet, nominated senator. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator for Nairobi City County, the Honorable Edwin Sifuna.
Speaker, I have a request for statement on the plight of farmers in Nzoia and other sugar companies countrywide. I just want to issue a caveat that I requested for this statement before the report from the Committee on Agriculture on the stakeholder engagement at Mabanga. And Chair, I don't understand why. You know, I've already been removed from the Public Accounts Committee, but I've not been added to the Agriculture Committee. Why is it more efficient to remove people than to add people to WhatsApp groups? I don't understand. Speaker, I rise pursuant to standing
order. Senator Fernandi. The honourable member is simply seeking to be added to his new role. You may proceed, Honourable
Senator.
Thank
you, Speaker, for that protection. Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53.1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Agriculture, Livestock and Fisheries on a matter of countrywide concern regarding the plight of sugarcane farmers at Nzoia Sugar Company in Bungoma County and across other sugar companies nationwide. Mr. Speaker, sugarcane farmers continue to face historical arrears, delayed payments, corruption in access to harvesting permits, and poor welfare support. These persistent challenges, particularly at the Nzoia Sugar Company, where farmers and residents who are major stakeholders in the well-being of the facility have been forced to resort to regular protests due to despondency, eroded livelihoods, and undermined confidence in the sustainability of the factory. Such is the plight of the contracted cane farmers across the sugar sector countrywide. In the statement, the committee should address the following. Number 1, when perennial arrears and delayed payments to sugarcane farmers will be cleared and the measures in place to guarantee timely future disbursements. Secondly, how regulatory oversight will ensure leaseholders remain responsive to community, farmer and employee needs, including fair labor practices and adequate remuneration. Thirdly, the steps being taken to eliminate corruption in the issuance of cane harvesting permits and ensure equitable access for contracted farmers. And lastly, Honourable Speaker, how the welfare of local communities who donated land for the factories and estates will be safeguarded, ensuring they benefit from improved milling, jobs and sustainable development. With your kind permission, Mr. Speaker, I would want to take the next statement.
You may proceed.
Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Justice, Legal Affairs and Human Rights and Foreign Relations on a matter of nationwide concern regarding the voting rights of serving police and other security officers. Mr. Speaker, Article 38 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 guarantees every citizen the right to make political choices, including the right to vote by secret ballot in a free, fair and regular election. However, during elections, thousands of police officers and other security personnel are deployed away from their registered polling stations to provide security services, effectively denying them the opportunity to exercise this fundamental constitutional right. With advancements in electoral technology and the existing mechanisms that facilitate voting by Kenyans in the diaspora, it is imperative that appropriate arrangements be explored to ensure that serving security officers deployed outside their registered polling stations are not disenfranchised solely by virtue of their official duties. In the statement, the committee should address the following: the legal, policy and administrative measures being undertaken by the State Law Office in collaboration with the IEBC and other relevant agencies to ensure that the police and other security officers deployed away from their registered polling stations are able to exercise their constitutional right to vote. Number two, the measures to guarantee that security officers exercising their right to vote freely, fairly, and by secret ballot without intimidation, coercion, or undue influence from the chain of command or any other person. And finally, whether the security officers required to travel to their registered polling stations to vote will be provided with adequate logistical and administrative support, including transport and sufficient time off duty to enhance voter participation without compromising election security. Thank you, Honourable Speaker.
Senator Mwenda Gataya.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Devolution and the Intergovernmental Relations on a matter of national concern regarding the status of pending county development projects initiated before September 2022. Mr. Speaker, sir, while devolution was intended to ensure the prudent use of resources and the community in service delivery, the frequent abandonment and inherited projects during leadership transitions undermine this goal. The prioritization of the new legacy initiatives over existing ones has resulted in a waste of billions in taxpayers' funds, leaving citizens with incomplete and underutilized infrastructure. In the statement, Honourable Speaker, the committee should address the following. One, the committee should look at the current status of all stalled or abandoned projects initiated before September 2022, including specific reasons for the abandonment. Two, Honourable Speaker, the committee should also look at the budgetary provisions and projected completion schedules for these pending projects within 2026-2027 financial year and subsequent financial years. Number three, Honourable Speaker, the committee should also look at regulatory frameworks and monitoring mechanisms in place to ensure continuity and prioritization of inherited projects and prevent waste during leadership transitions. Thank you, Honourable Speaker. This is Senator Mwenda Gataya, Mofire, CBS Member of Parliament, Senator for the Rakadith. Thank you.
Senator Catherine Muma.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. I've placed a request for a statement on the regulatory failures to safeguard River Yala from environmental and ecological risks posed by illegal gold mining activities. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Land, Environment and Natural Resources on a matter of national concern regarding the regulatory failures by the Ministry of Mining and the National Environment Management Authority, NEMA, to safeguard River Yala from the environmental and ecological risks posed by illegal gold mining activities. Mr. Speaker, sir, mechanized dredging of River Yala by foreigners undertaking alluvial mining was a major issue raised by residents of Isulu Bushangala during a public hearing conducted by the Standing Committee on Land, Environment and Natural Resources on 29th June 2026 at Bushangala Secondary School in Ikolomani constituency, Kakamega County. During the meeting, the Principal Secretary in charge of mining, Mr. Kimtai, asserted that the Ministry of Mining has taken steps to halt the mining operations. The ongoing gold mining activities in River Yala by foreign nationals has exposed regulatory failures by the relevant authorities, particularly the Ministry and NEMA. Communities in Kolomani along River Yala continue to face contamination of water that serves as their source of livelihood, as well as the activities, as well as the destruction of riverbanks and adjoining farms. Left unchecked, the mining activities pose grave risks to River Yala and the Yala swamp wetlands, including toxic contamination, siltation, biodiversity loss, and downstream threats to Lake Victoria. In the statement, the committee should address the following: the circumstances surrounding the facilitation of foreign-led alluvial gold mining operations along the Yala River, and 1, whether the mining entities are operating pursuant to all the approval and licensing requirements of the Ministry of Mining and the National Environment Management Authority, NEMA. Whether the mining entities have the requisite approvals and licenses. No, where the mining entities have the requisite approvals and licenses. 1, when the applications were submitted to the ministry and the names of the proprietors of the mining ventures. B, when public participation was conducted in respect of those mining activities. C, who issued the licenses authorizing the mining activities when they were issued and the duration for which they were issued. D, the conditions attached to the licensing of the alluvial gold mining and drenching of River Yala. And D, E, whether all relevant approval and licensing documentation can be availed to the Senate. Number 2, whether the relevant laws and processes were followed during the establishment of the alluvial gold mining operations, and in particular, 1, whether the dredging machinery was lawfully imported into the country. 2, where the machinery was lawfully imported from, who authorized its importation, when the authorization was granted, and the circumstances under which it was granted, and B, whether all relevant importation and clearance documentation can be availed to the Senate. 3, how long the alluvial gold mining activities have been operational in River Yala and the quantity of gold mined during the period. 4, the amount of revenue, license fees, levies, and royalties paid to the government from the alluvial gold mining activities in River Yala. 5, the action taken against foreign nationals and companies involved where the alluvial gold mining operations were unlawful. 6, mercury use controls being implemented to address toxic contamination measures, to address the situation and threats to the Yala swamp wetlands and Lake Victoria fisheries, including harm to the health of persons in the affected communities. And 7, the disciplinary or legal action taken or proposed to be taken against officials found to have facilitated illegal licensing or failed to enforce environmental regulations along River Yala. Senator Catherine Muma, nominated senator. Thank you.
Senator Chimera.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is a request for a statement on the implementation of the Magalani Busho Kilibasi water project in Kwale County. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 531 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Land, Environment and Natural Resources on a matter of county-wide concern regarding the implementation and operational status of the Magalani to Busho to Kilibasi water project in Makinon Road, Ward in Kwale County. Mr. Speaker, sir, The county government of Kwale implemented the above water project during the 2024-2025 financial year at an estimated cost of Kenya shillings 96 million to improve access to potable water. Despite this investment, residents of Mgalani, Busho, Kilibasi, Kaseve, and neighboring villages continue to experience acute water shortages, while several water kiosks constructed under the project remain non-operational. In the statement, the committee should address the following issues. Number one, the implementation status of the water project, stating the approved scope of works, total project cost, procurement process undertaken, the contractor engaged, amount paid, and whether the project has been completed and commissioned. Number two, whether the pipeline was upgraded from 3-inch to 6-inch pipes in accordance with the approved designs, the bills of quantities and technical specifications, including the findings of the inspections, quality assurance tests, and technical audits conducted. Number three, Mr. Speaker, the reasons residents of Mgalani, Busho, Kilibasi, Kaseve, and neighboring villages continue to experience inadequate water supply, including the number and operational status of water kiosks constructed under the project and the timelines for making them fully operational. Number four, Mr. Speaker, the measures to address concerns regarding the procurement and budgetary implementation of the project, including the findings of audits taken and action taken against any officers or contractors found responsible for any irregularities. And lastly, Mr. Speaker, the immediate and long-term measures to provide residents of Makinon Road with sustainable, reliable, and equitable access to clean and safe water. U.S. 12, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Senators, before I allow comments on the statements that have been sought, allow me to make this communication. I would like to acknowledge the presence of a visiting delegation of 5 teachers and 52 students from Nyali in Mombasa County who are seated in the public gallery. The delegation is visiting the Senate for an academic exposition. Now, on behalf of the Senate, on my own behalf, I extend a warm welcome to the delegation and wish them a fruitful visit. Also, I'd wish to acknowledge the presence of a visiting delegation of 8 teachers and 116 students from Kabianga Comprehensive School in Kericho County, who are seated in the public gallery today. The delegation is visiting the Senate for an academic exposition. On behalf of the Senate, on my own behalf, I extend a warm welcome to the delegation and wish them a fruitful visit. Further, I wish to acknowledge the presence in the Speaker's Gallery this afternoon of students from Starehe Boys Center and School, Loreto Convent Valley Road, and Alliance High School, who are undertaking a 1-week service in the Senate under the School Voluntary Service Scheme, VSS. The Voluntary Service Scheme aims to provide students with an opportunity to gain first-hand knowledge and work experience of how Parliament functions, including the legislative process and deeper understanding of governance. In our usual tradition of receiving and welcoming guests to Parliament, I extend a warm welcome to them, and on behalf of the Senate and on my own behalf, I wish them a fruitful visit. I will request Honorable Maanzo to extend a word of welcome to the delegation, the VSS delegation. I will also request Honorable Munyehaji Faki, Senator from Mombasa, to extend a word of welcome to the delegation from Mombasa, and also the Nandi Senator to extend a word of welcome to the delegation from Kericho County, in that order, each speaking for less than a minute.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to welcome the delegation from Starehe Boys Center, and on behalf of Senator Mugatana, who went to Alliance High School, and yourself, truly, Mr. Speaker, the delegation from Alliance Boys High School, and want to wish all the students You know, when they are doing the voluntary service here to learn and to interact with the members, I had an opportunity to meet them just before they came into the Senate. We want to encourage them, and we'll be meeting them quite regularly, Mr. Speaker, so that they can learn. And I wish them well. I know they're hard working and they're going to pass well in school. I wish that one day, all of them, the way they are seated there, will sit in this house as senators. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Faki.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just want to join you in welcoming the Nyali Comprehensive School, one of the best schools in the county of Mombasa. In the recent past, there have been some problems, but now the problems are over, and now they are back into the academic forum. Mr. Speaker, allow me to reserve the 30 seconds remaining to Senator Asigi because she's an alumni of the school. Thank you.
Yes, Senator Asige. Crystal.
Thank you very much, Speaker, and thank you to my head of delegation, Senator Faki, for the opportunity to also welcome Nyali Comprehensive School. Indeed, Speaker, I am an alumni of the school. I was at the school when it was called Mombasa Parents Club, and my father, Senior Counsel Japhet Asige, was actually a chairperson of the board in 88 to 89, and his name is somewhere on the walls of the school. So greetings from myself, greetings on behalf of my father as well, and I really do wish you a pleasant visit to the Senate. And I was also there, Speaker, severally last year, supporting them with their sports day, supporting them with activities with regard to technology-facilitated gender-based violence. And I hope that they recognize me, and if they were not part of those groups that I was meeting with last year and throughout this year, I pray that I will get another opportunity to meet this group as well. But in the meantime, welcome to the Senate. I hope that you do learn a lot from us, and that maybe some of you, if interested to be here, will also follow in the footsteps of myself and Senator Faki of Mombasa County. I thank you.
Senator Fernandi.
Mr. Speaker, on behalf, I want to extend a warm welcome to Kabianga Comprehensive School in Kericho County, which is my neighboring rural county, and to welcome them on behalf of their senator, who is the majority leader of the House, Senator Aaron Cheruyot Kipkirui, to warmly welcome them and assure them that the country we have is a country of equal opportunities. If you work hard, you work smart, and be God-fearing. We wish you the best, and may the Lord continue to bless you. Be disciplined, be focused, and you will get a chance to serve in this country. Mr. Speaker, I extend a warm welcome. I thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm told there's an alumni of Kabianga School, so Senator Mogeni, you may take to the floor.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, indeed, I confirm that I'm an alumni of Kabianga High School. That's where I did my A-levels from 5, from 6. So I extend a hearty welcome, Mr. Speaker, sir, to the students of Kabianga High School in Kericho. Mr. Speaker, I enjoyed one of the best environments in Kabianga High School as a student, and I'm here now as a senator. I hope the students from Kericho, Mr. Speaker, will continue making the name of Kabianga to continue shining. Mr. Speaker, I wish them well in their visit to the Senate and urge them to continue working hard. They are our future leaders, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, Loreto Convent Valley Road and Starehe Boys Center School are in Nairobi County, and therefore I will request the Senator for Nairobi City County to extend his welcome.
I thank you, Speaker. Over the past 4 years, we've received quite a number of delegations from Nairobi, and they insist that they be introduced or welcomed to the Senate by their senator, so that even if Senator Maanzo went to Starehe, he still remains a rural senator, and they insist on being invited by the city county senator. I take this opportunity, Honorable Speaker, because these two schools need no introduction. They are centers of excellence, to welcome these students. And I was asking myself, Speaker, because in your communication you always say that they are here to also follow our legislative business. I don't know if the clerks make available, for instance, the order paper so that they can follow where we are in the proceedings of the day, so that they know when you call out questions and statements, that's why people are asking these questions that are being asked. But I hope that in the future the Senate can make it a more interactive process so that these students who visit us can have a wholesome experience here. So I welcome them, and even though Alliance is in the neighboring Kiambu County, I will want to extend that invitation to them as well, although I didn't go to Alliance, Honorable Speaker. I thank you.
Order, Senator Fernandez. Did you go to Alliance? Order, 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 honorable senators. Can we settle that debate? You went to good schools, honorable senators, so let's leave it there. Now we'll move to comments. I will allow comments for not more than 15 minutes. If you get an opportunity to speak, kindly do so for less than 3 minutes. The Honorable Mudhama Kavindu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity to comment on the statements, and I'll start with a statement for Senator Betty Montet about the industrial air emissions from the cement and steel manufacturing companies in our country. Mr. Speaker, I'll comment about the emissions and pollution caused by the cement and steel companies in Athi River, in Mavoko sub-county, in Machakos County. Mr. Speaker, we are having so many people who are sick, and I'm just requesting that the committee which will deal with this statement can bring NEMA to task and ask them what they are doing about what the companies, why the companies are not following the law that rule them about emission and pollutions. We are having so many people who are sick, and yet these people are just busy making money, and these people are getting sick and they have no money. When they go to hospital, they have to struggle to see what they will do. Many of them have died, Mr. Speaker, because of sicknesses and illnesses that are caused by the pollution of this cement and steels. And so, Mr. Speaker, I want to support this statement and tell the committee to really work on NEMA and Ministry of Health also, so that they can put everything in order and our people can live peacefully and healthy in our country. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Boni Halwale.
Thank you for the opportunity, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the issue raised by Senator Catherine Muma about a dredging machine that is doing gold mining in Ribayala, aka Ribalokose, in Ekolomani and Shinyalu, is very serious. Mr. Speaker, for a long time, I have refused to make a public pronouncement on this dredging machine because I know the amount of insecurity it can visit those foreigners the moment I say I don't want them. I want to tell the PS in charge of security, Raymond Omolo, to instruct assistant chiefs and chiefs to stop protecting those foreigners because, Mr. Speaker, at the end of 7 days from today, those foreigners will not be allowed to be in that river. Not by the state, but by us, because the law says those foreigners cannot be admitted. Mr. Speaker, we were quiet.
Senator Boni.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Senator Boni.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Order, Senator Fernandez. I've keenly followed you. You're one of the seasoned senators in this chamber. And you have said that in 7 days, those foreigners will not be there, not because of the state, not because of government, but because of you. Where do you draw that authority from?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, allow me in response to draw your attention to the Constitution of Kenya. Mr. Speaker, Article 60, 61, and specifically, if you allow me to read so that I'm not misunderstood by the people who believe in twisting us. The Constitution says in 61 that all land in Kenya belongs to the people of Kenya, either collectively as a nation, as communities, and as individuals. Mr. Speaker, the area I'm speaking to, all the land is alienated. It belongs to individuals. If the state cannot protect our property, we will not sit back and watch as thieves walk away with our property. Members of the public, Mr. Speaker, with
Senator Manzo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I would like to comment on the statement.
Now, order, honorable senators. Senator Boni, you're out of order. You're totally out of order. Kindly withdraw your last statement. The statement that is attributable towards the chair. The chair. So
thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Retract that.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Statement.
I want to retract that statement on condition that you allow me to conclude the issue of this dredging machine.
Retract the statement first and don't give the chair conditions.
Mr. Speaker, without any conditions, I'm retracting, and I beg that you allow me to speak to the Internal Security Ministry to know what we are going through.
Okay, take your chair.
Thank you.
Take your seat. Take your seat. Take your seat, Senator Boni. Senator Manzo, proceed.
Thank you.
Senator Boni, I give you the caution of the day. You proceed with that conduct, I'll ask you to leave the chamber. You have no leave to speak. Just take your seat. Senator Joyce, kindly. Senator Fonandi, I will throw you out if you don't desist from that conduct. Yes, Senator Boni, just take your seat, please. Senator Manzo, proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I would like to comment on the statement request by the Honorable Sifuna. Mr. Speaker, about the voting rights of the police officers. And Mr. Speaker, this comes to my committee of JLAC at a time we are doing the election amendments, which has already been presented by IBC before this committee. And I believe the IBC will be appearing before us very soon, Mr. Speaker. It is very important that the clerks, not only just the police officers who participate in an election or who are election officers taking care of security during an election, these officers do not vote. And Mr. Speaker, remember that election is 50 plus 1. So if you don't win with one, simply because the right of a police officer who would have voted did not vote, or a clerk, a polling clerk who did not vote, and on this same breath, Mr. Speaker, indicate that the polling clerks are taking the ones who are already registered voters. And therefore, we've got quite a number of thousands of people, close to 10 to 20,000 people, Mr. Speaker, who don't exercise their right to vote. And therefore, I think I wasn't properly timed, Mr. Speaker. 2 minutes, I'm told, Mr. Speaker.
Conclude.
Yes, so it will be important that every Kenyan who is registered to vote is accorded an opportunity to vote. And I believe there must be a system to allocate these police officers to work where they are registered as voters. And I think that will work much better, Mr. Speaker. I thank you for the opportunity. We hope this will be part of the amendments you are going to make sure that every Kenyan who wants to vote, Mr. Speaker, is not left out. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Mundigi.
Okay, asante Bwana Spika kwa kunipa nafasi niweze kuchangia hoja ya Senator Simera, Senator wa Kwale kuhusu mambo ya maji. Bwana Spika, mambo ya maji na mambo ya irrigation imeleta shinda kwa sababu hiyo wizara ni kama imesembea kazini, kwa sababu tumekuwa tukiona kila kona inalalamika mambo ya maji na mambo ya kilimo, na kaunti zingine kuko na shinda, hakuna maji ya kunywa ama ya kilimo. Na hiyo onje yake ni kama Embu County, Bwana Spika, kuna miradi kama hiyo. Mradi moja uko Eriale Water Project, na ingine Kanywambora Water Project, na ingine Kamburu Tukiretire Water Project, na ingine Kidhemo Water Project. Watu wameumia. Hii ni mwaka wa 3. Mambo ya irrigation silianza, contractor wengine walilipwa pesa, wengine wakasembea kazini, wengine wametoroka, na mambo ya kuangalia kazi imeleta shinda. Kwa hiyo Bwana Spika, hii mambo ya wizara ya maji na irrigation imeleta shinda. Ningeomba kutengenezwa vizuri, kama hiyo onja yake ikienda kuangaliwa, pia kaunti zile zingine iweze kuonekana pesa ngapi zimepeanwa kwa hizo kaunti na kwa nini watu wamesembea kazini. Kwa sababu Bwana Spika, kaunti nyingi ilikuwa na matarajio mazuri na mambo mazuri ya mambo ya kilimo, mambo ya maji ya ukunywa, na ingine ya kutumia shule, mahospitali, na pia kwa familia imekuwa na shinda. Kwa hivyo Bwana Spika, ningeomba kamati ambaye ili itaenda kuangalia maneno waweze kuangalia njia ile inafaa, na pia waziri wa irrigation waweze kuitwa pamoja, tuweze kuona nini itapatikana ndio nchi yetu ya Kenya iweze kuendelea, kwa sababu siku hizi kona zote ni mambo ya kilimo. Asante Bwana Speaker.
Now, Senator Boni, because of my intervention while you're speaking, you lost 2 minutes. I will allow you to take those 2 minutes to conclude your thoughts.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On behalf of the people of Ekolomani, I truly want to thank this House through you. This is a very serious matter. As we speak now, 2 school children, class 8, have left school because they have been raped and made pregnant by these Chinese men, preying on the poverty of our people. Mr. Speaker, the security in some of our homes is now threatened because the Chinese are eating our dogs. It is not a laughing matter. And Mr. Speaker, protect me from the member of Nandi. Kakamega is not an extension of Nandi County.
Mr. Senator Fernandi, may the good senator be heard in silence, please. You may proceed, Senator.
Thank you for that protection, and the Senator of Nandi better realizes that if he's looking for somebody to argue within my family, he can argue with my daughter, who is a better qualified lawyer than her, and my son, who is a better qualified lawyer than her.
Senator Boni, time is running. Your time is running.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I therefore request the security organs, especially local, assistant chief and chief, not protect me, Mr. Speaker, to recognize that the little money they are given by these people.
What is your point of order, Senator Fernandi? And pause the time for Senator Boni, please.
Mr. Speaker, understanding order 101 on contents of speech, did you hear the distinguished senator of Kakamega imputing that his children are better qualified than me, yet he is not a member of Law Society of Kenya? Where does he get the facts? Mr. Speaker, you know this Kalwale has gotten used to insulting and intimidating everybody. Me, I'm a dry collegiate man. I'll not be intimidated by somebody consuming colorless liquid.
Now, honorable senators, let us maintain decorum as we debate. Let that matter be settled. Conclude your thoughts.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I therefore, speaking to my cousins who are chiefs and assistant chief, plead with them to keep away from these foreigners. Because you never know. Since many of our children have been killed in these clashes, they might come out, and in the process, it looks like because of the defense Catherine and I are giving them, we are actually inciting them. We're just telling the state we have nowhere to raise the issue. It is serious. One of the children who was shot is a total orphan who came and lived in my hands from stand 6 through to form 4 as I educated him until I took him to Shamberere TTI. He became an electrician and he was killed by the police.
Senator Mogene. Senator Mogene.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I want to comment on
Order, honorable senators.
Mr. Speaker, I wanted to comment on the statement by Senator of Nairobi, Senator Sifuna, on early voting. Mr. Speaker, you know, Article 83, Sub-Article 3 of our Constitution obligates IEBC to put in place administrative arrangements to allow eligible voters to vote and not to lose the chance of voting, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this problem is not confined to only police officers, Mr. Speaker. We have people, Mr. Speaker, who may conceive and their date of giving birth is on the second Tuesday of August 2027. What do you do, Mr. Speaker? You should put in place arrangements, Mr. Speaker, to allow people who may be seriously sick in hospitals, people who may be old, 80 something, like my own mother, Mr. Speaker. And we have many jurisdictions we can borrow from. Chair JLAC. If you go to Bahamas, Mr. Speaker, anybody above 65 years old, I was invited to observe elections on behalf of the Commonwealth in Bahamas in the year 2021. People above 65 years old, Mr. Speaker, are allowed to come and vote early, Mr. Speaker. If you go to Australia, Mr. Speaker, people who live 8 kilometers away to the nearest polling station are allowed to vote early, Mr. Speaker. People who are sick in hospital, as long as they notify the electoral body, they are allowed to vote. This thing does not need to be in the Constitution. All that we need from IEBC is to put in place administrative arrangements, Mr. Speaker, to allow early voting. Mr. Speaker, you know in the US, many states allow early voting. There is nowhere in the American Constitution where it has been decreed that the country will allow early voting. So I think successive IBC commissions have been sleeping on the job, Mr. Speaker. We want to challenge our good friend, Senator for Bomet, Senator Sigay, to get it right this time. Have a comprehensive list of people who should be allowed to vote early. The police, the army, people who may be sick, the elderly. There are people we don't want to see, Mr. Speaker, queuing with us on the election day, Mr. Speaker. Somebody is 90 years plus. Do you want to queue with that person on an election day when we have more than 1,000 people or 500 people on the line? Mr. Speaker, this matter is urgent. Let us get it right. No Kenyan should be denied a right of voting, Mr. Speaker. So I hope our chair, JLAC, and members will crack this out this time around, Mr. Speaker, so that we give every Kenyan an opportunity to vote on the second Tuesday of August next year.
Senator Abbas.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I also want to contribute to the statement made by Mheshimiwa Muma on the pollution of River Yala, where my colleague, my friend, my neighbor is bitterly complaining. Honorable Speaker, it's not only River Yala that today is getting polluted. I think every part of this country, there's a lot of deforestation which is taking place. There's a lot of problems. The rivers are getting polluted. The river banks are not protected. Honorable Speaker, in the past, I have a background